What is going on, everyone? Jeremy here from MTG headquarters, and on April 6th, 2017, Wizards of the Coast decided they might want to change up Standard a little bit. Let's start with some of the spoilers. Let's start with Curator of Mysteries, an incidental target for Living End. I'm told 4 mana 4/4 with flying, and whenever you cycle or discard another card, scry 1, and it has cycling for 1 blue. So very powerful 4/4 flyer. Limited bomb, definitely will see constructed play. Then we have Failure to Comply, 2 mana, return target spell to owner's hand, and with the Aftermath ability, choose a card name. Your opponents can't cast spells with that chosen name. Very powerful card, very powerful effect. We'll see play as a 2 mana counterspell, certainly. Then we have a Hapodera, Vizier of Poisons, a 2 mana 2/2 Grizzly Bear. And when it deals combat damage to a player, you may put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Whenever you put 1 or more 1/1 counters on a creature, create a 1/1 green snake creature with token with Death Touch. Very powerful card. Definitely going to be interesting if this makes the break into Standard, but it's going to be a limited All-Star, and it's going to be a lot of fun as a legendary creature as well. Then we have Hazoret's Favor, a 3 mana enchantment. At the beginning of your combat, on your turn, you may have target creature you control get +2/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. If you do, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. I don't know about this ability. Being able to drop something directly into play, affect the board state. Maybe I'm not seeing it right. What do you think about Hazoret? Am I undervaluing it? I mean, clearly Wizard says it's strong, putting it at rare. You don't want too many of these floating around in draft. I guess giving haste is pretty good. You know, playing this early and then dropping Emrakul or some giant fatty later on. What deck would you see this going into? Then we have very interesting card, Manglehorn. This is a standard fixer. This seems like auto-include in sideboards if you play green, possibly even main deck. And even Travis Wu speculated that maybe this card was one of those, let's cram her in the emergency print of fix, and Manglehorn fixes Heart of Kiran issues for certain. A 3 mana 2/2, great. However, when it enters the battlefield, you may destroy target artifact. Plus, artifacts your opponent controls come into the battlefield tapped. So this is an absolute artifact hoser. It deals with Heart of Kiran. It deals with, well, now Smuggler's Copter, even though it's banned. It's a great card, and at uncommon, it's absolutely great to see. I always like to see the cards that affect Standard at a lower rarity if I can, because it makes decks a little bit more affordable. Then we have Regal Caracal. Had to include this because why wouldn't I? Cat Tribal gets some love. We have a 5 mana 3/3 cat. It says other cats you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. And when Regal Caracal enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 cat creature tokens with lifelink. So for 5 mana, you get what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 power. This is not to be ignored. I mean, 7 power for 5 mana seems legit. I highly doubt Cat Tribal would be a thing in Standard, but in Limited, this card is going to be gross. Maybe in other formats, it'll be interesting as well. Now, earlier today, we saw a pretty interesting spoiler drop, and there was originally some speculation floating around the internet that just maybe Wizards of the Coast would be reprinting Liliana the Veil in Amonkhet due to her not existing on the packaging for Modern Masters. Then we later found out that she was in fact in Modern Masters 2017. Then we saw Liliana as the Planeswalker deck, fueling even more fire that, you know, generally there's a Planeswalker in the Planeswalker deck, and then there's a slightly better version in that block. And we saw Gideon's Planeswalker version, Planeswalker deck version, and then his insane standard set version. And today we got Selscar Mage. You're going to have to wait. This is a 1 mana 1/2 with prowess. Very interesting. You know, Monastery Swiftspear levels without haste. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a creature an opponent controls, you may put that many 1/1 counters onto that creature instead. So that's very interesting. This is a spicy little card. How would you see this? Would you brew around this card? There are certainly cards that have activated abilities that can deal damage. So, I don't know. That's interesting. Then we have Throne of the God Pharaoh. Now, this card looks absolutely bonkers, too. A 2-mana legendary artifact that says, at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you have. Think about the degeneracy you could get up to in EDH with those crazy squirrel decks. I mean, isn't Throne of the God Pharaoh an auto-include in Squirrels EDH? Or really any token strategy for that matter? Throne of the God Pharaoh is extraordinarily powerful, and even in limited play with 3, 4, 5 creatures on the battlefield, very powerful. Alpha Strike, win the game with the end of combat or end of turn ability. Very, very interesting. And then we have, Liliana Death's Majesty. Zoinks. This is a very powerful 5-mana Liliana. 5 mana for 5 loyalty. Per +1 protects herself. That's key to a Planeswalker being good. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. So not only are we creating protection, but we're also feeding the graveyard. Then we have a -3. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This creature is a black zombie in addition to other creature colors and types. Zoinks. And -7, destroy all non-zombie creatures. This Liliana is extraordinarily powerful. I mean, Elspeth level power, I would think. What do you think? Original Elspeth or Elspeth Knight Errant? Or not Knight Errant. Is this Elspeth power? 6 mana. She was good. But Liliana basically has a board wipe in any non-zombie matchup. The art is absolutely beautiful. And what I can say from today's spoilers is Standard is going to be different in Amonkhet. Is it going to be more diverse? That I don't know yet. But what I do know is Liliana and Gideon are going to see play. And there's a lot of fixing cards in this set to fix a lot of current Standard's problems. So let me know. Does this set, do the spoilers so far make you feel like coming back to Standard? Have you started to brew anything? Any new EDH decks? New Standard deck? What pieces do you see going into your Modern decks? I want to read your comments in the comment section down below. And hey, if you like the coverage, make sure before you leave, you crush that thumbs up button. Let me know you made it to the end. Thanks for watching this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.